No way, Jose.
The following footage proves beyond any doubt that the tanks intentionally set the house on fire. It proves that the Branch Davidians were murdered. You can see that this tank has a gas jet on the front that shoots fire. You can also see the fire quite plainly. The tank goes into the house twice, and each time as it backs out, the fire at the gas jet is plainly visible.
We must all do more to recognize and look for the early warning signals that deeply troubled young people send.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the No Way Jose podcast. You are watching The Morning Dump. I hope you guys all had a good Merry Christmas. Let me know if I'm sounding good, all that stuff. I got good morning, Jose. Good morning, hey, say what now? Got Alano Mofo. If someone offers you drugs today, I say you take them. Yeah, not the worst idea. Oh, you guys hear that? I don't know if you guys hear that beeping. One of the cats stepped near the tree. That's what that beeping is. I need to put the tree away. Still got the tree up. Haven't put it away yet. Yeah, I'm looking a little messy today. Although I think it looks kind of cool. It's almost like a Zoomer haircut. You know, but this is legit just me not doing my hair and taking a shower and sleeping in it like immediately right after and not doing anything to it. So it's just like. But somehow it came out all right. But good morning. Audio sounds good. Cool. We got audio confirmation. Thank you guys. Any TG this week? I'm not sure. I think we still haven't even settled on what we were gonna do. I was fine with doing yesterday. None of the other. Well, I guess a few of them were, but then we had people who weren't. So I don't know. I think maybe we might do it Friday. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I do have tonight, for those who are interested, behind the paywall. This will be out next week, probably next Friday. I have Jonathan Franklin on. He is a reporter who interviewed McVeigh in jail. So it should be interesting. He's someone who covered that. They covered the Oklahoma City bombing. So it'll be cool to kind of talk to him about his time covering on the trail there. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. What else? So let me know what you guys got for Christmas. I know I'm supposed to do that. It's content engagement. That's what YouTubers and stuff are supposed to do. I'm supposed to ask you questions. You leave comments. You tell me. So guys, leave comments. Tell me what you got for Christmas. Just for the sake of boosting the algo. Not that I actually care. I mean, I guess I kind of care. I will let you guys know. I got mostly just clothes. I got my like one time a year I get alcohol. I got I'll actually show you guys right here. You can already tell I went through a decent amount of it. Dimple Pinch Scotch. Delicious Scotch. This is my favorite, for those who are Scotch drinkers, this is my favorite, easy, affordable drink. My affordable, whiskey, affordable Scotch. That's my favorite one. Obviously, I have ones that, like, if I was going to pay out the ass for, that those would be better. But so far as affordable, this is usually around, I mean, I don't know. I haven't bought it in a while. I pretty much get it once a year, probably for Christmas from the in-laws, because they know I like it. But and I mean, I haven't bought one in probably years, but I mean, the last time I did, it was probably about like $30, maybe 40 now, I would guess, with inflation. But so far as whiskey goes, that's fairly cheap. So it's especially Scotch. So it's a Highland Scotch for those who know anything about Scotch. It's more of a sweeter, milder, not that peaty taste that a lot of people don't like about Scotch. So just throwing it out there if you're trying to get into it. It's a good starter one for people out there. So just throwing that there. But that's basically like I got some clothes. I got some dope socks, some grippy socks. So they're like slipper socks. The shirt I have on right now, I got some new True Classic shirts. I got that. So good time all in all. Kids got a bunch of cool stuff. But it was a good Christmas. So I hope you guys all had the same. We took a day off there. I don't know if I'm working, if I'll be doing a morning stream tomorrow, but I might. We'll see. that's up in the air. Just giving you guys a little bit of letting y'all know what's going on before we get into it. I do real quick while we wait for more people to come in. I will. We're gonna pay the bills real quick, guys. Sorry, it is what it is. But it's a good product. I promise you, I really dig it. I use it on the regular. I mean, I'm edging up all the time. I'm always edging. You guys know me. I'm an edging fool. That was a double entendre there. That was a joke. But don't forget, I just want to let you guys know that today's episode was brought to you by NWJ Shave Co. If you're tired of that razor burn, that irritation, those ingrown hairs, then this is the way to go. You can return to the traditional shave. You can shave just like your grandpa used to, whether you're shaving your entire face or just edging up your beard. The single blades provide a barber grade shave for a fraction of the price. Upgrade your shaving system today. The standard issue includes one traditional safety razor and a box of 100 stainless steel razor blades. That's $75 is what that puts you out, and that allows you to shave for an entire year. But that's the estimate, and I've barely put a dent in that. I mean, you guys see my face on the regular if you've been watching the show for a while. I mean, I probably shave the beard off maybe once a month or so. I'll edge up, but I've barely put a dent in mine, and I've had it, I believe, well over a year at this point. So I don't even think I've put even gotten a quarter of the way through it. So you can make that thing stretch, just so you know. But if you are someone who shaves every single day, that you're probably not going to want to make it stretch. You want to keep those blades fresh, keep your face nice, swap them out regularly. If that's the case, you may want to consider the Cord Shave Club. Puts you at about 25 cents per replacement blade. He's also got 3-in-1 body, hair, and face soap and shave soaps as well. Highly recommend those. They smell good. They feel great on the skin. They're good for shaving with. It's a COVID mandate refusing company. This company was born out of refusing mandate. Use code Jose for 10% off your entire order. All right, boys and girls, let me check in the chat, see what y'all got. Ooh, someone got a chainsaw. That's nice. That's cool. I have a chainsaw that I don't think I've ever fucking used. I got it forever ago. Whenever, the shit, when the world was shutting down or whatever, whenever everyone thought apocalypse was gonna kick off in 2020. I got a chainsaw then just because I didn't have one. And I was like, hey, if shit pops off, I'm gonna need a chainsaw. I don't think I've ever fucking used it. So yeah, it probably doesn't work. I probably need to mess with that thing at some time and actually try it out. I don't think I ever fucking use it. But anyways, I'm rambling now, guys. Let's get into some stories from the day. I also do want to let you guys know real quick before I get into it. You guys saw, if you watched the last one of these morning dumps, we finished the Dutroux reading. So if any of you guys have any sort of like long form articles or whatever out there that you guys want to go through, I kind of like that template is like having like 15 parts maybe I'm pushing, because we got to 15 parts in that thing. Maybe in the realm of like, I don't know, 15 is probably like the tippy top. So I don't know, anywhere from like 5 to 10 part. So if you have an article that would probably fit that realm, let me know. If you have something that would fit. I was thinking maybe Boys in Track, looking for some sort of mega article or something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, so just let me, if you guys have anything like that, let me know. I do have one today from one of you guys that I found that was about some 2016 South Korean craziness. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to reading into that with you guys. That's not a huge piece. That's like we'll knock that out easy today. So, but just throwing it out there. If you guys have any sort of mega articles that especially even if it's something like I never took the time to break into this, we can break into it piece by piece, little by little. Take like 15 to 30 minutes at the end of every one of these morning dumps and go through it. So just throwing it out there to the audience. You guys, to a big extent, this show is very much shaped by you guys. I don't know if you guys notice. Pretty much the template of the show is like I find articles, I find threads, I find videos, most of which is through Twitter, sometimes through direct messages from you guys, sometimes through the Telegram or Tower Gang, all sorts of different ways, primarily Twitter. But you guys tag me and stuff. I save it in a book. I bookmark it. 1 second. Oh, sorry. I thought I heard my wife coming out of the room. See what the fuck she's doing. God, I forgot my point. My wife is coming out of the room. What are you doing? She's supposed to be sleeping. She works tonight. They can see you back there, right? She's wearing like a little fucking one of those little hat things, and she's in like underwear and one of my t-shirts, no bra. So very inappropriate, but very children. Well, I don't. You want me to turn the camera? What? I'm gonna put the camera up. No, go get it. Camera's up. Now you can't see. So she's trying to sneak behind me and grab some food. She's supposed to have been sleeping. All right, you guys get the top view of my head for a minute while she does that. Sorry. Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. Thanks, babe. All right, where were we? God, you completely threw off. If you guys remind me where I was. Oh, I was just telling you guys how the show is very much crafted by you guys. That's all it was. I was coming to the end of that little rant. I was just saying, if you guys keep wanting to contribute to that, that's the way to go. You guys shape this show. I think probably about half, if not more, of the things we're going through today is stuff that you guys have tagged me in today or tagged me in. So yeah. See, she's still just lingering back there. I'm waiting for her to go away so I can move on to the next thing. And she's just still lingering back there. All right. Okay. Let's get into actual some content here first. Clean your vent. Yeah, I probably should. You're right. Good morning, Jose's wife. Everyone says good morning. You can say good morning to my. God, what are you doing over there?
I'm getting food.
There you go, guys. This is your proof. Tell the tower gang, guys. I do have a wife. She was supposed to be asleep, so just throwing that out there. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get into actual content. You guys can look at the top of my head in the meantime. There we go. All right, let's get into this. Jeez, she couldn't be any louder, could she? All right, Wall Street. This is from Ken Silva, our buddy Ken Silva over at JD Cashless. Wall Street Journal revealed this morning that the top FBI scientist who ruled COVID as a likely lab leak previously worked on the post 9/11 anthrax case. I don't really know what to make of that, considering this is a guy who ruled it as a likely lab leak. So it's like, you would think this would be somebody trying to cover it up or something. But let's read the little excerpt that Ken has here, and we'll. Oh, I think 1 second. Let me readjust the thing so you guys are gonna keep looking at the top of my head in my dirty vent. Here we go. The wife's gone now. She's gone. All right. There we go. Now you guys can see me. There we go. All right. We're I'm sorry. Super unprofessional. This is the reason why I do it out here. She's usually asleep by now. I thought she was asleep like an hour and a half ago. So I think what happened is she woke up, then had the munchies, was just feeling hungry, and then just decided to run out. I don't get it. I'm the kind of person that if I'm sleeping, even if I work night shift, I'm out forever. My wife does not sleep very deeply. So it is what it is. She is subject to wake up on a dime. I can't even tiptoe in my room while she's sleeping without waking her up. It is bizarre. All right, let's get back to it. All right. Here's the excerpt that Ken shared. He said he arrived at the FBI's near-empty Hoover building in early 2020 as most government employees were still working remotely. Bannon had faced his share of tough cases, including working for the task force that established that a scientist at Fort Detrick had sent anthrax-filled letters to lawmakers and others in what became the worst biological attack in U.S. history. But determining the origins of COVID presented unique challenges. The initial outbreak had happened 7,500 miles away in a country that was withholding cooperation. The inquiry was barely underway when divisions emerged in the initial conference calls among the intelligence agency experts held over Biden's tasking. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, he did say it was lab leak, but it is one of these things that maybe it was like a limited hangout thing. So whatever his findings weren't as damning as they could be, or it could just be complete happenstance. But it is interesting for sure. Oh, I think maybe she's still. I keep hearing banging. Babe, are you still out here?
Yeah, I need water.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. She's got to run and get water. So I got to move the. I just realized she's still. Okay, I'm moving the thing back. Go grab a water, babe. Jeez. All right, jeez. Someone says Dirty Vents is the name of my glory hole. All right, so you married a vampire. Now, she works nights, but basically, yeah, she marries a vampire. Although those things sleep soundly, I thought. I don't think the stereotype is they wake up easily. Hello from Qbert. Hello, Qbert. How are you? All right, she's gone now. God, the women are gone now. All right. All right. Well, I guess, yeah, maybe this could have been like a limited hangout thing where they did pull back the findings a little bit. I'm unsure, but it is interesting. What a weird little coinky dink there. All right. Here's one I've been seeing shared around quite a bit. I haven't really watched it yet, but a lot of people are all excited about this. This is what I'm talking about in the title here, where I said Operation Mockingbird, modern day Operation Mockingbird. But I guess here's like a minute and 15 clip, essentially, where I don't know who this chick is, but maybe she'll tell us. But this is on a Colbert show where she's talking about essentially how they work with the feds. So that's my understanding without having watched it. But let's watch this together.
Okay, so now one of the things that you do you do this every season where you go get to spend some time with some actual spies?
We do. It's like the coolest part of my job.
Who sets that up? Who calls the CIA and goes, we just like to come in and hang out with you guys?
Yeah, so Henry Bermel, who is one of our founding fathers of Homeland, one of our writers, passed away.
Right, so there's an actor or actress, I guess. But either way, same basic idea. You know, they're the feds are working with these guys. So, but she said Homeland though, so I don't know. Is that really that bizarre? That Homeland? But maybe there's more to it. I mean, people have been freaking out about this, so I'm assuming there must be. Oh, by the way, I did, in reference to my earlier statement about how you guys help me see that, that's the Rage Child. That guy. He's one of the guys who gives you a lot. A lot of this show is crafted by the Rage Child. So give him some love. Go give him a follow at the Rage Child, or at. Actually, I was wrong. It's not at the Rage Child. It's at Dirty Beer Guy, or Dirt Beer Guy, not Dirty. Dirt Beer Guy. Go give him a follow. Give him some ups. But yeah, he because of him, I'm playing this clip. So, but I mean, I already, this is one of those ones I would have played either way. But I mean, there's definitely other more niche stuff that you guys find for me. So, but yeah, let's keep playing this.
Our founding fathers of Homeland, one of our writers, passed away a number of years ago. But his dad was in the CIA, and his cousin was a mentee of his father's and was also in the CIA, a very accomplished person there. And he recently retired. But in his retirement, he curates this week-long spy camp for us producers and writers. And
really?
Yeah.
Is it like
spy camp for us producers and writers.
I'm gonna go, but redo that part just because
Really?
I just want to redigest that.
He curates this week-long accomplished person there, and he recently retired. But in his retirement, he curates this week-long spy camp for us producers and writers. And
really?
yeah.
Is it like, you
yeah,
know?
so we park ourselves in a club in Georgetown and talk to, like, real spooks. And, people in the intelligence community and the State Department and journalists and people who really...
What do they tell you that, like, what's the most surprising thing that they've told you about their jobs or something you would need to know from
Well,
there?
every year it's different, right? We've been at
Okay.
it for a while, and the climate has changed. But this year it was all about, the distrust between the administration and the intelligence world, and the intelligence community was suddenly kind of allying itself with journalists, which
But wait a
usually
second,
they're
how long
not
ago did you
such
start
good
shooting?
friends.
Okay, so she mentioned journalists too, because I don't know who this broad is. She said something about, so I heard Homeland, so I thought of Homeland the show. Then she was talking about what did she say? Something about producers or the show? I don't know. She said something like show terms. I forget the exact term she used, but essentially made it sound like it was show stuff. Then she said journalists there at the end. So at first I was like, well, obviously it glows. It could be completely. Initially, I thought, it could be completely harmless. It's like, so because the idea is like working for a show like Homeland, it kind of would make sense. You would want to work hand in hand with the feds to some extent. This is coming from me, guys. I'm not a big fan of the feds, but it would make sense from like from a show perspective to be like work with the feds for authenticity, for acting, whatever. I mean. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you got to be careful and balance to thread that line. So it just end up becoming fucking, intelligence agency fucking propaganda. But either way, that would make sense. But there's that last line at the end about journalists. So I mean, I don't know if you guys have anything you want to. If you guys know anything more about this, if you know who she was or why this woman. I mean, the spy camp's fucking weird. All right, let's pop back in the chat real quick, and then maybe you guys will have some thoughts. Y'all heard of Sushi Gloria? What the fuck are y'all talking about? At least we know she exists. Yeah, my wife finally. Now the men can talk. Yeah, for real. Am I right, boys? Am I right? It says, do you bring your own soy sauce? Oh, I get it for the Glory Hole. So Jose, this is from ANCAP Grizzly, says, so Jose just goes in and discusses what I already saw on my timeline yesterday. That's the show. That's the show, ANCAP Grizzly. I mean, while I am being a little glib and being a little silly, it is to some extent that is sort of the show. I mean, we're giving commentary. I'm talking to you guys, so if you guys have stuff to add, you guys might know stuff. I don't. I'm by no means any sort of real expert. The closest thing I would say I'm even close to being considered that is maybe like Oklahoma City bombing. I mean, I guess, sure, maybe some of the stuff I've done in my life, like, being an aircraft mechanic, and even then, the very, very specific type of aircraft mechanic I couldn't really do shit on any other sort of jet or any sort of, like, I was a crew chief, so I, was kind of a jack of all trades, just general stuff, but I couldn't really do any sort of hydraulic work or electrical work or on a plane, so I just could. Generally, my job was that it's fucked up. Someone needs to fix it. It's basically, and it was something really basic, like a clamp or just basic hardware. Then I would fix it. But anything more complicated would go to a specialist. So that's really That's about extent of my expertise. Maybe soccer. I play a lot of soccer, but point being is I'm by no means an expert on really much of anything. I'm just shooting. I feel like I'm a little bit advanced in a lot of things, so mostly shooting the shit with you guys, kind of covering the current events of the day to some extent. Kind of what's hot in the conspiracy, parapolitical, theory world, whatever, kind of the sphere that we hang out in. And then also I like to throw in a few like big articles and stuff. I see it in my head. I call it the morning dump because it's kind of like the idea to me. This show is kind of the idea of like when you sit down in the toilet in the morning, especially somebody like me being a content creator, where like before I did this show, like I would find myself on my phone, like when I'd be in the bathroom or something like that. When I'd be looking at Twitter or whatever, I would spend more time there because I'm actually trying to, get acclimated to what's going on in the world, trying to, find juice for shows or whatever things to talk about, trying to stay in touch with what's going on. So that's kind of what this is. That's like that right there. That morning sitting in the toilet reading, Twitter articles, whatever, what have you, trying to get updated on what's going on. That's what this is. And that's why it's a morning show. It's kind of like a daily show. Like, I get it. Like, yeah, a lot of you guys may already be on your timeline. Most people aren't terminally on Twitter. So most people, I think, aren't up to date on, silly things like this story with some chick clearly working the feds. I mean, I don't think I could go to work tomorrow and to talk to my coworkers and say anything about them and they'd know anything about this. So I'd say most people probably don't really know about this shit. So a lot of the shit that we talk about, it's also not just the stuff that was on your timeline yesterday, because I do trying to find deeper dives. I have a couple articles for you guys today, shorter ones. So I also have a thread on Operation or Project Bluebird. So I mean, we are digging a little bit deeper than just the stuff on the timeline. But that's somewhat it too. It's a little bit of a current events, a little bit of a little bit of new, a little bit of old. But just kind of generally speaking, the vibe is when you're just doing a little bit of research. I mean, you're taking kind of like your morning dump. I always remember Colbert for how he helped cover up cheese, tomato, bread, gate. Oh, Pizzagate. Yeah, that word. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. Fuck. All right. I'm sad to hear it's a Lonely Island song. Okay. Spy Camp. Yeah, Spy Camp. It was weird. Good morning, retards. Good morning. He was a psyop from the beginning, said ANCAP Grizzly. He originally was a spoof of Bill O'Reilly, endeared himself to conservatives a little bit, then turned it to Rachel Maddow. I used to really like Colbert. He's pretty, I thought it was funny. It was okay. Yes, he was like a mock Bill. Okay. Short Nephilim says, "Can you show us your cats on the morning dump someday?" I mean, you've seen them. They've been on the show multiple times. They're see the little thing right here. If you're watching my finger, see my cabinets here. They go on top of that. There's been multiple episodes they've gone on top of that. So there you go. They got ANCAP also saying you need to do more stuff with Top and Raven. I do need to do more with them. But they're usually super busy in the morning, so lining up with them isn't always the easiest. But yeah, they're usually like probably one of the more easier content creators to go to, because most of the people out there have real jobs. Not that I don't. I do. I mean, I'm working like part-time, and it's really just a matter of circumstance. If it wasn't for my circumstances, I would be working every single day like a normal person. I wouldn't be doing this. It's really just a matter of circumstance. But most content creators, unless you're like super duper big time where you're living off this, yeah, they're usually not that. They're usually doing shit around this time. Most people are working. So, I don't know, there's a little bit of rambling there. What's the hardest part of playing soccer? Telling your parents you're gay. Yeah, that was the hardest part for me, really. I mean, it was hard. Voluntary plan says, "Show us your pussy." All right, yeah. So, I don't know. We can scroll maybe through see if there's anything interesting in the. See what I'm talking about. Why am I having a hard time thinking of the word? The replies. Sometimes I'll scroll through them, see if there's anything worthwhile. No, not really. All right, here is another one. The irony of here is another one from one of you guys, from Tyler W. at Redbird Racing. Give him a follow. Once again, another one spawned by you guys. And now this is kind of funny because we just recently did an episode on covering whether Mike Benz was a Fed, and now here we are covering covering content that came from Mike Benz. So wow, what a small world we live in. But either way, I do. Part of why I'm saying that, too, I'm also prefacing this, is I haven't read this, so I have no idea the legitimacy of any of this, and we've already had a whole fucking discussion about maybe this guy is a Fed. I don't know. I have no idea, and I feel bad doing this because I almost feel like I'm Fed jacketing, but this is something that's out there. A lot of people have said it. And we talked about it on the show. I mean, you can probably search it up. I don't remember what episode it was. If you do want to watch it, we covered a few different threads of people. I didn't see any sort of silver bullets per se, anything that was like he's definitely, but there was definitely some stuff that I was like, this dude glows. I mean, so some weird stuff. Weird. That's about it. That's about as far. I mean, once again, I think I said on the episode we covered, I'd be fine with talking Mike Benz if Mike Benz ever wants to come to the show. I don't really, have anything against him. I don't have anything for him either. I don't really like. It's not like I follow his content. I feel nothing for the guy. So I don't even really hardly know entirely what he talks about all that much. I've seen some of his stuff. It just was like I don't know. Seems somewhat similar to stuff I talk about. Just nothing ever really interested me because it was all stuff that mostly I usually kind of knew or either didn't care about. I think he focuses along like kind of tech side things sometimes, but I don't know. Anyways, point being is take this information and filter that through, knowing what we know about the guy. So, but either way, he does have little like excerpts and stuff here. So, I mean, maybe to some extent we can I don't know, kind of guess the credibility. But anyways, I've rambled enough there. AOC was spawned out of USAID too. Question mark. In college in late 2009, she airdropped into Niger in the middle of a giant civil war just months before what happens, just months before what appears to be a U.S.-backed military coup in early 2010, launched against a sitting government the West had condemned and was cutting aid to. So, okay, so in college, so essentially just to rehash that, essentially AOC apparently, I guess, ended up in Niger in the middle of a civil war in college. And that's that, yeah. So weird circumstances to go to Niger for a college trip and then also to happen to be when that's going on. I mean, I don't know the circumstance of a trip. Maybe, I mean, obviously who the fuck can predict that, oh no, it's civil war, but like if that was already going on. I mean, it did say a middle, so it would imply to me that it was already going on. So that would be a weird college trip to go to some country, some borderline third world country. I don't know if you consider Niger third world, but that is not doing well, is engaged in violence. Anyways, here's one of the clips he shared. It says her trip through Niger was through the Niamey International Development Program, which is funded by USAID, which is a known CIA front. And what do you know? Shortly after she left Niger, there was a Western-backed coup that overthrew Niger's government. Oh, wow. Who would have guessed? Let's look. I don't even know what USAID is, to be honest with you. I've heard it before, but let's look it up real quick together. I'm going to look it up. USAID. Oh, geez. Share this tab. Here we go. Oh, these AI things. I mean, while it's freaky, they come in handy. See, like a little AI overview. Just type in a Google real quick. USAID, United States Agency for International Development. Oh, yeah, that definitely sounds like a CIA cutout. That really is just like CIA with different words. Oh, international development. Yeah, that's what we're calling it these days. It's the CIA. It's a federal agency that works to improve the lives of people in developing countries while also advancing U.S. foreign policy. All right, yeah, that's, I mean, just one sentence in, and you're like, oh, you just sound like CIA by a different name. All right, let's go back to this one, now that we know what that is. All right, what else we got pictured here? Here's a clip. Here's something. He took an excerpt from something. It says Alexander, or AOC. I'm not going to say her whole giant fucking name. A junior in the College of Arts and Sciences went to Niamey for study abroad and was confident in the safety of students studying in Niger. Nigerians are an overwhelmingly peaceful people. Even with the political instability that hung in the air, the most discomfort that I felt was uncertainty about the future of the Nigerian people, AOC said. Our security was a high priority for the U.S. Embassy and our Nigerian friends and host families, and I never doubted their abilities to take care of us. The program was originally suspended for the 2010 spring semester because of a State Department travel alert, which was made after the kidnapping of 2 UN officials by members of Al-Qaeda. But we're cool with Al-Qaeda now, if you guys remember. Although the travel alert has been lifted, the Nigerian government is in the middle of a power shift. Is that the correct spelling of Nigerian with an E? I thought it was an A. I've seen it twice now. All right, anyways. On February 19th, a junta called the Supreme Council for the Restoration of Democracy seized power in a military coup. Led by Salo Djibu, the junta captured President Mamadou Tanja. Man, they have some fun names. As well as his ministers when they stormed the presidential palace. But there was little violence even in the capital, said Sue Rosenfeld, the resident director of the Niger program. The junta took matters in their own hands because they were unhappy with actions that the president had taken recently, including a disputed referendum which extended his time in office by 3 years. Leaders of the junta, which is now heading the government, have promised to hold elections in the near future and to help democracy be restored in the country. Let me pop over here. Let me scroll. I'm popping in with you. What's your opinion on Kyle Seraphin from ANCAP Grizzly? Oh, that's another one. I'll be frank. I've never said anything publicly about that or anything. I'm suspicious, but I don't know. I mean, it could be just legit. This is one of the ones he's done things in the past that I found to be fishy and confusing and seem to line up with, oh, maybe you never really left, but I could be completely wrong. So this is why I haven't really said anything. You're asking me now. That's why I'm answering it. I don't really like the idea of being the person who's going, oh, Fed. I'm more of I've said before, but even it's the same, when it comes to stuff like this, it's the same way I am when it comes to like Twitter stuff, I guess, arguments or just any sort of adversarial discourse in general. I tend to like to act as what I call like a sniper, where I just sit back, gather information, and just wait for the kill shot. So if it's even necessary, it may not even be necessary. Sometimes just hold on to the information and just, whatever. But I don't have any. I've never had anything substantial. I've never seen anything substantial. Not that I would like necessarily do anything with it, but point being is I've seen suspicious stuff, but I don't know. There's nothing that was like he's clearly that. And I mean, that's the hard thing. And I've had him on the show forever ago. He was cool. He's a cool guy. I mean, every interaction we've ever had has been cool. He's just on some stuff that just struck me as weird. And then I'm like, but could just be legit. It's so. That's why I don't like the idea of throwing that stuff around if you have to. I don't know. I feel bad about it, I guess, because it's like, I don't know. I guess I just always feel like the shoe on the other foot, because it's like some asshole could always, and that's already happened before. We've all seen it. Somebody that's clearly not a Fed, or something like that, and then like people are like, well, why'd you do that? Oh, wow, that's suspicious behavior, and it's just kind of gay. I don't know. So, yeah. Sorry, that was a stupid rant, but yeah, I don't know. I get sick of those, and so I guess I'm like, you never know when somebody's gonna be like, oh, well, look at this guy. He did 11 years active duty in the military. Wow, fucking. And you know what? To be fair, like I like there's people that you see stuff and you're like, oh, well, this. Oh, they were in the military, or they did this, and you're like, oh, wow, they maybe they're Fed, and honestly, I could do the same thing to myself, and it's like I mean, it's not substantial. For example, like I mentioned, I did 11 years active duty, but it's like, so a lot of people would see that and go, oh, wow. And you're like, and myself included, I've done that too. And then you're like, but you always got to kind of like balance that with like, well, I don't know, what could possibly be a understandable explanation for this? And I was a fucking aircraft mechanic. I didn't have top secret. I had normal fucking clearance. I think it's secret. I think everyone has a secret in the military, I think. So like, yeah, I mean, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything cool like that or whatever. So, but I mean, the same thing. What did we talk about? Jack Poso before? I think I've had a similar conversation about this before. He's another one that like could be. I don't know. But if you look at his military record, because a lot of people bring up that he was like military intelligence. I think he was like a reserve. I think he was intel, but he was like reserve intel. And like I remember looking at his rank and being like, I want to say it was something crazy, like 8 years, and he only put on like, he was an officer, and so he only put on like, I don't even know if he ever got to captain, which is like an 03. So like, it's not that high. I mean, it was reserves, but point being is like, it just didn't read to me like someone that was like glowy, although, I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. Yeah, see, Robbins or Brad, I had top secret, so SCI, and I didn't do anything cool. Yeah. I mean, people who are top secret who just guard areas, and they don't know anything about what the fuck's going on. They're just, the things they're guarding are top secret related. So Timothy McVeigh, funny enough, even after he got out, was guarding top secret stuff. I don't know if he had a top secret clearance for that, but he was he was definitely guarding secret things. So I forget which he was working at one of the God, I can't remember it. Caltech, I think. Like one of those areas are like super clicked in with government, like essentially government, was it the military industrial complex, MIC. Essentially it was an MIC type company. That's who he was with. All right, let's keep going with this. The 2010 Nigerian coup d'etat, there's just a little clip describing that. Who the fuck? I keep hearing meow. I don't know if a cat's trapped somewhere or what. It's driving me nuts. I think there's a cat trapped in the closet somewhere or some shit. All right. Anyways, A coup d'etat occurred in Niger on 18 February 2010. Soldiers attacked the presidential palace in Niamey. One second, I'm going to yell at my kids, see if they can find that kit. All right, I'll just yell at the kids, see if they can deal with that. The door behind you, Jose. Yeah, it's probably... Oh, yeah, there's my kiddo right there. Yeah. Maybe were they trapped in there? Okay, I don't know. Whatever. You want to check the... I don't think... No, it's coming from over here. All right, sorry, guys. This doesn't normally happen to me. I don't know what's going on. Just everything. All right, guys. Let's get back into it. All right. Yep. So they attacked the presidential palace. They attacked the presidential palace in Niamey under weapons fire at midday and captured President Mamadou Tanja, who was chairing a government meeting at the time. Yep, that's all there is to that one. And then here's another background thingy. The coup followed the year-long political crisis in Niger related to President Tanja's efforts to extend his mandate beyond December 2009, when his second term was originally scheduled to end. Okay, all right. So there was someone trying to extend his period in office when, according to the rules, he was supposed to get out, essentially. So they got all pissy. All right, arguing that people wanted him to remain in office, Tanja. Well, then they would have voted you. I mean, to be fair, I guess I don't know what kind of I'm having a brain fire here. What kind of government they had. When his second term was Tanja dissolved the National Assembly in May 2009 and subsequently appointed a new constitutional court, enabling him to push forward with a constitutional referendum in August 2009 that extended his mandate for an additional 3 years. The new constitution also enhanced Tanja's power by scrapping the semi-presidential system of government in favor of a presidential system. Okay. The opposition reacted furiously to Tanja's effort to remain in office and denounced him as a dictator. Tanja also faced strong international and regional criticism as a result of the events of 2009. It was suspended from the Economic Community of West African States, and some aid from Western countries was halted. So it sounds like he put himself in a negative position in relation to the West, is what's being implied here. While Tanja said that he needed to remain in office to oversee various projects of tremendous economic value, others felt that Niger, as one of the poorest nations in the world, was in a poor position to cope with any degree of isolation. The former minister, Mariama Gamati, pointed to a serious and ongoing hunger problem and argued that we cannot afford Tanja's ego. All right, let's keep going. All right. It's not your typical semester abroad. Academics are not what the experience is about. Oh, no, I read that retarded. It says, it's, in quotation marks, not your typical semester abroad. And then, end of quotation marks, new quotation marks, academics are not what the experience is about, quotation mark, end quotation marks. So 2 separate quotes. Sorry, it read weird to me. They volunteered at, quote, non-profits dedicated to democracy building, unquote. And their only 2 choices of study were, quote, international development studies, unquote, or, quote, class status and social stage, unquote. There was a lot of quotes in that. Made it kind of confusing to try to read. All right, yeah. Let's read through some of these excerpts he clipped. All right, the basics. Run by Boston University, but open to all undergraduates, the Niamey International Development Program is not your typical semester abroad. Here's what he's saying. But first of all, it is small. My semester had 6 students. It is rare for any semester's group to be larger than a dozen. You will live together in an apartment complex in Niamey, Niger's capital, and you will, of course, take classes, but academics are not what the experience is about. For 4 months, you'll become part of a community that could not be more different from your own. Okay. I mean, I see what he was saying with some of the coded language there. I don't know. All right. I mean, that also just kind of sounds like generic, like describing this too. Like if you're trying to give it I don't know. Yeah, but all right, let's keep him. Community placement. You won't marvel at Nigerian life from afar. You will take part in it. One of your required classes is actually a volunteer placement in the community. Okay, what the fuck does that mean? You can do whatever you want. Okay, I apprenticed with Turag Silversmith. Okay. So it's apprenticing with people working there, I guess what they're implying. Others in my semester taught English and volunteered at a nonprofit dedicated to democracy building. There are many established placement opportunities that are repeated semester after semester, but if you have a new idea, chances are the program director can help you make it happen. and volunteer. Okay. All right. Let's keep moving. Classes. And of course, you'll take some classes. In addition to your community placement and whatever language courses you choose, you will take either international development studies or class status and social change. You can also pick from electives that study Nigerian culture, Francophone literature, West African performing arts, and more. These classes will be unlike any you have taken before. They are taught by Nigerian professors who come to your home to lecture in your kitchen or on your patio. All right. Each morning I stumbled out of bed and into the living room for my French class, in which I was the only student. All right, that seems bizarre. I mean, I guess it's a poor enough area, though, where they could easily probably get professors to do that sort of stuff. Nigerian professors. During college, AOC served as an intern for U.S. Senator Ted Kennedy in his section on foreign affairs and immigration issues. Well, that's interesting. That is a tie that binds here, it seems. All right. I'll give him a like, just to be nice. Oops, fuck. What did I just do? All right, here we go. Someone from AOC's program became USAID's Niger mission director, noting it was instrumental in shaping our careers. And now he's at USAID's Democracy, Rights, and Government's office, which today is USAID's Censorship Center. Okay. And then it says, BU alumnus. This is an excerpt he has. It says, study abroad program led to career as USAID rep for Niger. I don't feel like there's any reason to read all that. I mean, he gave you all the information in the tweet. So, all right. Well, that's the end of it. I mean, that I will say, good info, Mikey. That is, I mean, this does seem legit, and it totally is believable that AOC was a big old fucking Fed. All right, let's check in what you guys have to say. Jose's secret happened in the showers. I don't know what that means. Ooh. And this is Robin saying, I was an Intel analyst in 101st Division. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Even within the Intel community, a lot of times these people don't know shit. Like, they're just fucking nerds, clickety-clicking away, sending this PowerPoint, doing this fucking thing, updating this Excel spreadsheet. Like, they're not all, like, I'd say probably, I mean, I have no idea. I never worked in Intel. Robin probably could give me a better idea, but I'd say it's probably like less than 1% that even do any sort of like cool like shit that like people like me would be like looking at like, ooh, that glows. What's he doing over in fucking Mozambique or whatever the fuck? Like, I feel like the 99+% of them are just nerds clickety clicking. Oh, did you see this piece of fucking intelligence that we received from this fucking agency? Like, just gay shit like that. Like, nothing fucking interesting. Dangerous recharge show up and Nephilim shit occurs. That reminds me. I mean, someone told me, I feel obligated because one of the fans said I need to bring it up. The couple things happened yesterday. Just a little back up a little bit. I know I kind of did this at the beginning, but I'm going back into it. This yesterday on Christmas, towards the end of the day, and I'll be honest, you guys saw this. You guys saw my liquor here. I was day drinking most of the day. I don't really drink, so I feel like an alcoholic saying that, but I haven't had alcohol in like months. I think the last time, well, actually maybe about a month or more. The last time I even had alcohol was when I went to the Tampa comedy show, Sam Tripoli's show, and I had a beer there. So like I might have like a beer at events, and then every now and then family will buy me whiskey because they know I like whiskey, but I don't really ever drink. But I was kind of slowly sipping on that all day, and it's not a very big bottle. But anyways, so I was kind of day drinking, but so I was feeling loose, having fun, and we got into some shenanigans on Twitter. First one, which is kind of like whatever, but me, Chris Burtman, and Raven, I fired back up the Stokes. Like, for those unaware, Bert and Raven have for a while now been competing for 10,000 followers. Raven's winning, and then I always just kind of was like, I hardly ever fucking pop into God, why am I such a brain fart? I hardly ever pop into Twitter. I don't do a ton of Twitter. I barely ever post. So I've been meaning for a while, like, I should hop into this race. And then on Christmas, I kind of made a tweet. It's like, all I want for Christmas is 10,000, is to beat Bert and Raven to 10,000 followers. And then TRHL, or Josie, the redheaded libertarian, she, then I guess saw one of our tweets and then made a tweet of her own. And none of us made 10,000, but we got really close. I mean, I was only at like 9,400, and I'm like 9,900-ish right now. So I'm like 100 away. beside the point. But that was fun. Someone said I should bring that up. But then really what I wanted to bring up is Top got into it with Tim Pool. So that was interesting. And I ratioed Tim. Top ratioed Tim mercilessly multiple times over and over and over again. Raven ratioed Tim. And this is the creme de la creme, the piece de la resistance, or whatever the fuck the Frenchmen say. Toad did as well, which was insane. And it was probably one of the most bizarre ratios I ever saw. You know what? Actually, I'm going to see if I can't find it real quick, because it's just worth it. It's worth it to see if I can't find the beautiful fucking ratio from let me see. Man, I'm going to scroll for this one. Stop sharing. I don't want you guys to see what I'm looking at. I don't want you to see my notifications, you dirty fucks. There we go. What a bizarre ratio. I didn't realize I was sharing that to you guys. Let me show this to you guys real quick. See, LOL, what a bizarre ratio. And this is Toad. And it says, no, I don't fuck anyone. Let's click in here and expand on this. This is 331. Where did it go? All right, 331 likes. And then this is Tim Pool. This was a reply to Tim Pool. And it says, no, I don't fuck anyone. And Tim Pool was replying to Top Lops. He says, you and your psycho bunch are fucking the anti-war movement, and you know it. You've been told by your own friends, but you're too retarded to stop. Now look at that. 131 comments to Tim Pool's 53 likes. So a ratio just on its face. And then on top of that, for those who don't pay attention to Twitter, this is super gay. I'm sorry, but it's just hilarious. If you do pay attention to Twitter, it's just hilarious that Toad in this situation just came in out of nowhere with the weirdest dunk. But yeah, so then he says, no, I don't fuck anyone. Because he says, you and your psycho bunch are fucking the anti-war movement. I don't even know what he was referring to. I ratioed in there, said something like, I made a joke, kind of like, two retarded stops, probably the best description of Top Lops that I've ever heard. But I don't know what the hell you're talking about with the first, sentence or paragraph or whatever, because I really don't. I mean, if you can go ahead and follow this. I'm not going to analyze this whole, in exchange, because that's too gay for me. But it is, it was just funny. It's just funny that Toad with a over 6x over, I think it was, over 6x Tim Pool. Tim Pool has 2.3 million followers, and the reply is a joke on how Toad doesn't have sex. It's so stupid. But that's the world we live in. Quotations are Jose's kryptonite. Yeah, that's not what this shit about. This shit is retarded. That's hilarious. It is hilarious. That's why I brought it up. Yeah, I feel gay bringing it up because it's Twitter stuff. It's weird, like trying to be like, I guess the show kind of is Twitter stuff, but this is different Twitter stuff. This is like, and then he said, and then she said, and then he said, and then the other guy said, like, I don't like that. That's too gay for me, but it's funny. It's funny stuff. So that's why I'm bringing it up to you. This is just for humor value. All right, let's see. I guess just to jump into the humor side of things still, here's a fun one. This is from Stu Peters. It says, holy shit, the Guatemalan child trafficking Jews tried to re-kidnap the 160 children taken from them by Guatemalan authorities. So in quotations, authorities in Guatemala have resisted efforts by members of a Jewish sect to recapture 160 children rescued from its premises. On Sunday, sect members broke into a care center where the children were being held in an attempt to get them back, leading to scuffles with police. The sect accuses the Guatemalan authorities of religious persecution because they can't rape the kids. Which, I mean, to be fair, I haven't looked into this story at all. I just thought it was wild. It just has very much as Jew Tunnels vibes to it. So here's the from the BBC. Guatemala police clash with Jewish sect over 160 at-risk children. I vaguely recall seeing the story a while back, and it was like, and I remember somehow they got rescued from this like ultra, I want to say ultra orthodox or something like that movement. They had these kids that I believe that, if I recall, were being used for untowards purposes, I guess is the best way to put it, without overstating it, because I'm not even sure if I recall correctly. But yeah, I guess apparently the Jays tried to fight to get them back, literally, physically, is what I'm understanding here. So wild stuff. Oh, Alan says that's a sect that got in trouble in New York City. No way. Are these Chabad? If these are Chabad, that's wild, because that is the sect that let me see. I'm not seeing anywhere Maybe if there's a link here. Too bad there's not. If they're Jew, okay. Here's another clip from it. Some 230 members of an Orthodox Jewish group have begun leaving a village in western Guatemala after a bitter row with the local indigenous community. The Lev Tahor members were asked to leave San Juan Laguna after meetings with elders of the Mayan community. This is an old one. So this is this is in this is Guatemala. Okay, Guatemala. Oh well, what the fuck? This one says 2014, so I guess this has happened before. Jeez. Oh, so this is an older story on, I'm guessing, the similar people. So I guess they got kicked out of an area by these people back in 2014, I think. I don't know, maybe. All right, yeah, that's weird. I don't know when this article was from. But yeah, Lev Tahor. I don't. That doesn't sound like Chabad to me, because Chabad is the ones. Yeah, Lev Tahor. 5 questions. Oh fuck. Well, here's an article. Let's check this out. Share this tab instead. All right. Lev Tahor. No, this is from 2014 again. Is this the same exact sect though? That's what I don't know, because we have this, and this is from this. I believe this one is from this year. So. What the fuck? Unless Stu is sharing old stuff, but I'm assuming that they've been in this Guatemalan area for a while. You know what? Fucking Stu, I'm an idiot. You know what? I mean, that's partially my fault, partially Stu being an idiot as well. I don't know why you didn't fucking all right. Either way, he said that this guy right here should have said the video is old. I added subtitles. You need to watch this. So it's an old. No, he shared this. All right, what? Never mind. I'm retarded. I'm trying to interpret all this. I don't know. I wish he would have shared the article, because this is like, it's confusing trying to figure out which sect this is. You should have shared the article. Let me see. I probably could just type in BBC Guatemala real quick. See if we can't find that. Because I'm not sure if the one I keep seeing things from 2014. So let's see real quick. Sorry. Guatemala police clash. Let's put that. Guatemala police clash. Okay, I see people talking in here. Let's see, that's it. You're saying it's Chabad, or you're saying the Lev Tahor. There's a doc of them going to South America. Okay, police. Here we go. Here's the actual article he was sharing. So 3 days ago. Okay, all right. So Stu didn't fuck up. All right, Stu. There were separate stories. I don't know if this is the same group. So the children were taken into care on Friday when police raided a farm used by the Lev Tahor, a farm which is under investigation in several countries for various offenses of a naughty type. I'm just watching my language for the censors. Interior Minister Francisco Jimenez said that they were allegedly being abused by a member of the sect. But on Sunday, the sect members broke into a care center where they were being held in an attempt to get them back. Okay, so they literally broke into a care center trying to get them back. Wow. So this is Lev Tahor. So that group that from all the stuff I seen in 2014, I guess they got kicked out of some area in Guatemala. I don't know if they somehow came back or if they moved to a different area of Guatemala, but they had some issues back in 2014. So it's known for its extremist practices and exposing a strict regime. It advocates child marriage, inflicts harsh punishments even for minor transgressions, and requires women and girls as young as 3 years old to completely cover up with robes. That's weird. I never seen that in Judaism. The sect accuses the Guatemalan authorities of religious persecution. The community settled in Mexico and Guatemala between 2014 and 2017. In 2022, members of the sect were arrested in a police operation in the southern Mexican state of Chiapas, but they were later freed for lack of evidence. The events began when police raided the sex farm in Oratorio, the southeast of Guatemalan City, on Friday, taking the children to care. Prosecutors said they were suspicious of forced pregnancy, mistreatment of minors, and rape. But 2 days later, about 100 of the children's relatives, all members of the sect, gathered outside the center where they're being held to call for their return. Some sect members then forced open the gate and tried to abduct the children and adolescents, but the children were intercepted by authorities and put into a white minibus. With police help, the center managed to locate and protect everyone again. Officials had previously tried to check in on the children's well-being, but were prevented from entering the farm by sect members. Authorities estimate that the community is made up of 50 families residing in Guatemala, the U.S., Canada, and other countries. The Jewish community of Guatemala has issued a statement disowning the sect, describing it as foreign to its own organization. Well, that sure does have Sabbatean vibes there, doesn't it? No, by the way, not at all making any sort of implication that this Lev Tahor group has some sort of a conspiratorial hold on other groups or something. I just found it interesting. I mean, not that really means anything. That they're, I guess it was just kind of a way to ham-fist any Sabbatean reference, to be honest. The Sabbateans as well were also, regarded as not Jewish, what's the word I'm looking for? Against doctrine or whatever. Essentially, they don't accept them. I'm not sure if the Judaism technically has some sort of a disowning like the Catholic or whatever churches do, but it's the same idea. They've essentially determined that Sabbateanism does not conform to any sort of Judaic standards. So, I mean, I don't know how they do that, but either way, they're saying that's not one of us. So, but it's expressed support for the Guatemalan authorities in carrying out necessary investigations to protect the lives and integrity of minors and other vulnerable groups that may be at risk. I kind of want to see. Let's look at this. 5 questions answered on the ultra fleeing Canada. This is so okay. Oh, never mind. This 2014 piece was about them fleeing Canada and coming to Guatemala. What is Lev Tahor? Lev Tahor, which means pure heart, is an ultra-Orthodox Jewish sect from Quebec made up of about 200 people. It's led by Rabbi Shlomo Hellbrands. Come on, Shlomo. All right. The roughly 40 families lived in Laurentians in Quebec, Saint Agatha de Monts until November 13. The families, including about 120 children, left their homes in the middle of one night that month and moved to Chatham, Kent, Ontario. The sudden move came soon after Child Welfare Agency started a court case against some of the families. All right. Well, it does seem bizarre to move from Canada to Guatemala. Why the fuck would you need to do that? And on Wednesday, some of the families were stopped. Okay, I don't really care about that. Who is Shlomo Hellbrands? Shlomo Hellbrands, the leader of Lev Tahor, grew up in Jerusalem in a secular household. He didn't discover religion until his teenage years when he became engrossed in the teachings of Jewish mystics. I wonder if he's like really into Kabbalism or whatever. At 22, Hellbrands declared himself a rabbi and claimed to have unique insights. In the late 1980s, Hellbrands started recruiting followers in ultra-Orthodox neighborhoods for his new religious community, Lev Tahor. I will say, I don't really know enough to say this with any sort of authority about Judaism, but it is weird how many, the little bits of looking into of different sects, whether it be Chabad, Sabbateanism, and, in its multiple forms, that there always seems to be this like, head rabbi guy, which I guess just makes sense with how they're formed, but a lot of them do seem to occasionally get caught up in this game of ego, I guess is a way to put it, to where I don't know if they think, and a lot of them do tend to think maybe they're messianic figures or something, or because this is a group that a lot of them believe that a Messiah is coming. A lot of them have different interpretations of what a Messiah even means, but there are a lot of them who are messianic in the sense that they believe a Messiah will come at some point. Some believe there already is one, or that he's coming, or whatever. They're currently in the Messianic age. But point being is, I just find it interesting that there seems to be almost like I guess almost like a cult-like figure that tends to come up in some of these sects, these weird sects of Judaism. So I guess maybe Judaism is subject to that kind of influence, between some sort of enigmatic, or maybe enigmatic's not the right word. What's the word? Someone that has the charisma for a charismatic figure to come up and really do some shit like this. So that seems to be a weird thing I've noticed about that, because that's not something you really tend to see in other things, like, say, for example, Christianity. I think to some extent that might be because they already have a Messiah. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen at all. There obviously have been sects where it's like there have been people who've taken on a pseudo or something close, or maybe considered a prophet or whatever. But I don't know. It just seems to be kind of unique to some extent to Judaism. It seems like at least I've seen a few of these where this is like this weird shit kind of happens. But I don't know. Anyways. CBC's The Fifth Estate spoke with various people who said Hellbrands has a magnetic personality and is very persuasive. In 1990, Hellbrands and his followers suddenly left Israel for New York. Halbrans took up residence in Brooklyn's Borough Park, which houses various ultra-Orthodox communities. There, he found financial support for his ideas and opened a religious school. So it doesn't sound like this was Chabad. Someone referenced, I believe it was Alan, mentioned earlier something about Chabad. I don't think so. I'm not getting any Chabad connections here. It just does seem like this. It really does feel like just a renegade school of Jews, I guess you could say. All right, at the school, Halbrand started working with a young boy, Shai Fima, before his bar mitzvah. He told the boy and his father that Fima had special talents and a grand destiny. Fima started spending more and more time at school. One day, he did not return home. All right. Halbrand denied kidnapping the boy. All right, okay. In 1994, how long was it? 1990, so 4 years later, Halbrand, however, was convicted of kidnapping Fima. He served 2 years in prison after an appeal resulted in a reduced sentence from an original 4 years. On his release, Halbrand was deported to Israel. Every fucking night. Well, that's weird. Okay, so there's a boy that just disappeared? I kind of want to know, where the fuck did he go? Is he like out? Is he just offing kids? All right. 6 weeks later, he arrived in Canada to reestablish his religious community in Quebec. 2003, he applied to be admitted to Canada as a refugee, arguing before a refugee board that as an anti-Zionist rabbi, he was a threat to Israel. Well, that's interesting. This guy claims to be an anti-Zionist. All right. His application was granted, but the Fifth State's investigation found he may have used misleading or false evidence at his hearing. Halbrand denies the accusation. Okay, well, it sounds like, they're implying maybe he lied. So, like, I don't know if he really is an anti-Zionist or not, but maybe he was just using that to get out of there. I guess that's fair if you lived in Israel and you're an anti-Zionist. It's like, I don't even believe in this. Although, I guess, is that really any different than being like an anarchist in any other country? Really? That's like me. I don't feel like I don't feel like I don't know. I'm going to get, I guess it's possible that I'm going to get off by the government or something for it. What are Lev Tahor's beliefs? We want to go backwards, exactly like original Judaism is, spokesman Uriel Goldman told CBC's The Fifth Estate in its documentary, Rabbi of the Pure Hearts Inside Lev Tahor. In Chatham, Ontario, the group seemed to seek an isolated place where they could practice Judaism in their particular form and raise their children. Their beliefs include anti-Zionism, believing that a Jewish state can only be declared by God and require the return of God. Which I've heard that before. I'm not Jewish, but that I've seen people who have that take. That makes sense. Okay, so I guess maybe they are anti-Zionism. Men and women, anti-Zionist. Men and women dress conservatively, both cover their heads. Social workers told the Quebec court that women must adhere to a strict dress code and are forbidden from taking off their socks. Okay. Boys are educated to become scholars, spending long days praying and studying religious texts. Girls are taught the practical skills to become successful wives and mothers. All girls take a sewing class twice a week and attend cooking classes. Girls must marry at the earliest age they can. However, local laws must be followed. Weddings are arranged by the sex leader Halbrand. And then it says, why are police involved? Before the Lev Tahor community moved overnight, it was under investigation by Quebec youth protection officials who were preparing to have some of the children removed from their homes. They were concerned about many issues. In court, social services alleged the children were medicated with melatonin to help control their behavior. Isn't melatonin just sleep and stuff? I don't know. I know plenty of people take melatonin. Anyways, not learning the Quebec curriculum, leaving them unable to do basic math. Forced marry as early as 14 to much older men. All right, now that's the issue. The first two, I'm like, whatever. I don't give a shit about. That was a problem. Other testimony contradicted the marital age, indicating it was actually 16. Which I don't know. I'm not trying to get like a age of consent thing, but really, I guess I'm assuming the indication here was that maybe 16 is okay because in this area you can marry at 16. Don't get me wrong. I still think that's gross, but there's plenty of states in the United States where that's the case. You can marry at 16 with parents' consent, or even I think there probably are some where you can without. So I don't know. So point being is there may be implying that like, okay, well no, we're following the laws and waiting to the first available moment because marriage is such a big deal to them, which, okay, whatever. Not entirely my belief system, but I can wrap my head around that they may be following the laws with the 16 thing there, although the 16 is still gross. Although, to be fair, I don't know who they're marrying off to. Oh, too much older men. There you go. So that's weird. Because, I guess if you married a 16-year-old and a 16-year-old, weird, but who gives a shit? CBC's The Fifth State spoke with Adam Brudzewski, 28, who married the daughter of one of Lev Tahor's founding members. spokesman Uriel Goldman, and spent 2 years living in the community. Rabbis encouraged sect members to spy on family and friends, he said. Physical abuse was a regular punishment in the community, he said. Brudzewski, that's a weird name, who helped out at the community school. He said he was told to hit boys with a wire hanger. Ow, holy fuck. If they disobeyed. Goldman denies Brudzewski's claims. The Fifth Estate heard that a family of a woman who married into Lev Tahor, that she was punished by being internally banished. This meant her children were placed with other families in the community for 3 years, and she was not allowed to contact them, her brother said. Holy shit, I just had a cat do some crazy parkour. All right, other punishments in the community included being denied sleep at night and not being permitted to eat for 3 days a week, he said. The woman denied her children were ever removed from her care. After the sect fled to Ontario, a Quebec court ordered that some of the children from a couple of families be returned and placed in foster care. An Ontario judge upheld the ruling in February, ordering 13 children back to Quebec. The families were granted a 30-day term to keep the children and appeal the ruling. However, after the families could not be found at their homes on Wednesday, their court day, a lawyer for the Chatham-Kent's Children's Service brought an emergency motion in the case. An Ontario judge ordered the children be apprehended immediately and placed in Ontario foster care, subject to appeal. 5. What do Jewish leaders think of Lev Tahor? In Israel, a parliamentary committee on the rights of the child has been gathering evidence on Lev Tahor, which is viewed as bizarre even among the ultra-Orthodox of Israel. Israeli families with children living among Lev Tahor are pressuring their government to act, and a government representative is calling on Canada to shut down Hellbrand's operations. January 2014, a rabbinical council in New York, which had previously publicly criticized the sect, reissued a statement of concern. We have confirmed that all their behaviors are repulsive and are clearly against the ways and the teaching of the Torah and the teaching and guidance of our great rabbis and forefathers. The families, especially the young children, are in a horrifying situation. An English translation of the letter said, the council members called on fellow Jews to not support the sect financially or otherwise, and labeled Hellbrands as one who pursues another with evil intent. Several months earlier, speaking to the Jewish Tribune, the Jewish human rights organized B'nai B'rith Canada called Lev Tahor cult-like and a perversion of Judaism. Hellbrands has firmly maintained that any disapproval is rooted in anti-Semitism. That one took me by surprise. Especially given that the context is like literally these are a bunch of Jews saying like, yo, dude, what the fuck? And then you're like, you guys are anti-Semites. All right, that's pretty good. All right. Let's get in the chat. I mean, that was a little bit long. We completely did not mean to go down this little rabbit hole, but I kind of got interested and I figured, hey, fuck, let's look up some stuff as we go. All right, that was something, huh? What the fuck? All right. Park Slope has a center for their sect. I'm not sure if you're talking about Chabad here still or not. Too retarded to stop, baby. Yeah, no, that's actually, you know what? I didn't even hone in on that. That was actually I did. I told you that was like the best way to describe them. But that's kind of like taken off as everyone's like, too retarded to stop, too retarded to stop. It does sound super cool. That goes hard. Too retarded to stop. That goes hard as fuck. Maybe it might not the same sect, might be wrong. Yeah, I'm not seeing any connections. Like part of the reason why I wanted to go in this little rabbit hole, I mean, you guys know the show is like conspiratorial parapolitics, so like always kind of looking for the strings that are moving things. But honestly, I have to say, looking at that one, it just genuinely just feels like a renegade Judaic sect. That's all it feels like. And as I was saying before, I do think the very nature of how Judaism is set up, once again, non-expert, just kind of my general impression, is it does leave itself open to things like this, where you get a charismatic leader who does this sort of shit. And not to say that's exclusive to Judaism. I just think maybe it's just considering how it is, especially it's a pre-messianic religion, I guess, in the sense that they're like believing some sort of messianic figure or entity or whatever is coming along. That they may act differently. They are open. They're receptive. They are looking for a charismatic leader. That's the difference. Whereas with something like Christianity, like, yeah, you want your leaders to be charismatic, but it's a different thing. Looking for a Messiah or looking for someone to guide you in your studies of the Messiah is very different things. So, all right. Anyways, let's keep going through the chat. He sucked the soul of this kid during the prison. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, as far as I can tell, they were only in New York for a couple years after leaving Canada, then off to South America. So can we just drop a Moab on the Temple Mount? Yeah. Well, this is one of the few times it sounds like I'm on Team J, Team Israel. because they don't seem to like these guys much either. So, although it's, the funny thing is, I really do wonder if they weren't an anti-Zionism sect, like if they were Zionistic, if that would make a difference. But I don't know. I don't really know the dynamic well enough there to really know if that does make that big of a difference. But either way, happy they're out of Quebec. I mean, I couldn't care either way. Quebec, I mean, whatever. I guess I prefer them to not be in Canada. I mean, I don't really care about Canada, though. So, hey, gang. Hey, ERA. Everyone's saying ERA. Jeez, okay, from Guatemalan. I don't know. I have a I don't know. Maybe we'll get another Jay on here soon. I actually talked to Dave yesterday. Old Davey Smith said hi, and we were talking, and we're like, hey, we're going to have to set up a show here soon. He actually said it himself first. He said, hey, we're going to have to do a show first. We just kind of did the quick little, like, hey, happy Christmas, or Merry Christmas to you and yours type deal. And he's like, hey, I need to come on your show soon. I'm like, yep. So just letting you guys know that's probably going to happen soon-ish, relatively. I don't know. I didn't follow up. Because it just seemed rude on Christmas to even like try to engage in a complete back and forth. It was just quick pleasantries back and forth. But you did throw that out there. So just saying that maybe happen soon. I'm cool. The Jews. I mean, at least that one. That one's cool. All right. Let's. We're already over an hour deep, I think, here. So let's Emily. Someone said in the chat, Emily. I didn't see M. Is Emily here? Someone's saying, what's up, Emily? Let me check. Oh, I see what it is. I fucked up. Oh, shit. I'm missing super chats here. I am so sorry, guys. I fucked up. I need to check that more often. But I guess there's a good chance to remind you guys. You guys can send me super chats. Or I guess not super chats. The Rumble rants. So I got a couple of those I need to go through real quick. I got from Stinky Sock 420, says, Merry Christmas, Jose. The greatest gift this year has been Top Lops' beef with the Beanie Baby Tim Pool. Yeah, no, I actually think you sent that before I brought this up. So crazy, weird it worked up like that. But yeah, no, it was hilarious. It was a fun moment. It was fun watching, especially I brought up the day drinking thing because it was just to put you in my mindset to kind of where I'm just kind of just lightly buzzed on the couch, go just watching that. That was my mindset during that. Everyone's saying 2 red tards. Stop. $10 first ones in chat if you want to see Jose's wrinkly kittens. I actually have kittens right now, like kitty kittens, like little itty bitty kittens. I have a few of those, but the problem is they are like in my room area, like they're way back there. So yeah, I can't really get them without waking the wife up. I mean, I guess she's might be still up. I mean, you guys saw her out here, but I don't know. She may have started to fall back asleep, so I don't want to wake her up right now. That'd be fucked up. But yeah, all right, guys. Let's. I had a couple articles I wanted to read. I don't know. I'm debating. I put as the title Bluebird, so I feel like I should probably do that one. I mean, I guess you guys can let me know in the chat. Do you want Bluebird or do you? Oh, I said that weird. Do you want Bluebird or do you want the 2016 South Korean scandal? Fuck it. Let's do Bluebird. We'll give Richard some love. It looks like I might be doing this again tomorrow, so save some content for tomorrow, I guess. But we'll definitely cover the South Korean president thing because it is wild. The little bit I skimmed it is nuts. Apparently in 2016 there was a scandal where I guess the president had some sort of like how do I put this? An advisor that was like connected to all sorts of weird occult and bizarre things. I think there was like money, and so there was like a whole weird big scandal. But it's just like the weirdest thing is it was like this like hidden hand behind the presidency is what it looked like, because it looked like they were just straight up just doing what that person said. And then also there was weird religious or whatever the fuck. So we'll get to that. But let's I guess last thing today we'll do Bluebird. We'll do Bluebird. We'll get into that. I mean, a lot of you guys probably don't even know what the fuck Bluebird is. Which honestly I forget when it comes up. I'm like, wait, which one's that? So here's Richard at OKC_facts for those who aren't aware. He is the badass motherfucker who was the guest for my Oklahoma City bombing series we did in the realm of like 15 plus hours, I think, on that playlist or on that series. And yeah, I mean, we cover all sorts of aspects of it. So he's the man. I mean, this is like his third account or some shit here too. So I mean, don't let that number fool you if you're someone who is like that. Not that that's a bad number at all. But point being is like this guy I think was almost a 10K. There was a point in time where he had me beat. So if he had never got nuked, then he probably would be well over. I would say he'd probably be over 15K, and he should be, and that's sad. But either way, weird aside, just letting y'all know, Richard's shit. All right, Ultra and Bluebird, the secret so nasty, the CIA intentionally released MK Ultra, horrifying shit just to cover up for Bluebird. You ever wonder how Sirhan was put in trance and made to fire a gun at someone? There was a project for that. All right, let's get into it. April 20th, 1950, Director of Central Intelligence, DCI, Walter Bedell Smith, signed off on Project Bluebird, a program that would seek to weaponize hypnosis, drugs, and torture to mold the human mind. The program was managed by Morse Allen, a career intelligence officer. Within a year, by July 1951, Sidney Gottlieb joined the CIA. Deputy Director for Plans Alan Dulles assigned Gottlieb to Project Bluebird. Which Gottlieb is one of those. Gottlieb is one of those names that you will hear a lot in spook world, like Gottlieb, Alan Dulles, Jolly West. Although, to be fair, Jolly West is like off the books, I guess you could say. He was not, but so far as actual spooks, actual out and out spooks, you got Alan Dulles, you got Gottlieb, you got James Jesus Angleton. I mean, what other ones? I don't know. There's a few main ones. All right. 1 month later, in August 1951, Dulles greatly expanded Bluebird and renamed it Project Artichoke. Dulles is promoted to Deputy Director of Central Intelligence. Deputy Director of Central Intelligence. I don't know why that one tongue twisted me so much. In 1952, Artichoke is moved from OSI to the Office of Security under the auspices of the SRS, Security Research Team. The move demonstrates how the Artichoke techniques were ready to be moved out of the area of pure research into a highly sensitive area involving operational matters. February 26, 1953, Dulles becomes Director of Central Intelligence. 2 months later, in April 1953, Dulles formally approved of Project MK Ultra. Artichoke was folded into the larger MK Ultra program, where it became just one of many sub-projects. The project would involve at least 86 universities or institutions, 15 research facilities or private companies, 12 hospitals or clinics, and 3 penal institutions. Meanwhile, research continued and the program scope was massively increased. June 9, 1953, Gottlieb approved one of many sub-projects, including the use of LSD. The sprawling program had many assets, perhaps none more influential than Dr. Louis Jolyon West. A letter from Dr. West to Sidney Gottlieb, dated June 11, 1953, typifies the research of the time. In the letter, West outlines experiments he proposes to perform using a combination of psychotropic drugs and hypnosis. West said he wanted to hone techniques for implanting false information into particular subjects or for inducing them in specific mental disorders. The following month, July of 1953, Gottlieb wrote a letter to Dr. West using the pseudonym Sherman Grifford, establishing himself as Jolly West's handler through a CIA front company called Camrophil Associates. A document from January 1954 describes one of the project's goals. Can a subject be induced to perform an act involuntarily or attempted assassination against a prominent, redacted politician, or if necessary, against an American official? Project Artichoke's fantastic success in reaching this goal is summarized well in this excerpt from Tim Tate's UK Chapter 4, Channel 4 documentary, The Assassination of RFK, clip 1 of 2. All right.
Above all within the CIA and led to seemingly bizarre experimentation. From the end of World War II to the end of the 1960s, the CIA spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on brainwashing and mind control experiments. Their aim was to create a hypno-programmed robot assassin who would have no memory of his crimes. It was spelled out in this 1953 internal report on Project Artichoke.
Can an individual be made to perform an act of attempted assassination under the influence of artichoke? As a trigger mechanism for a bigger project, it was proposed that an individual be induced under artichoke to perform an act involuntarily of attempted assassination against a prominent politician or, if necessary, against an American official.
Let's play this.
By the mid-19...
This is, I guess, the second clip of it. It says Project Artichoke's fantastic success in reaching its goal is summarized well. Oh, he's just saying the same thing again. My bad.
By the mid-1950s, internal reports indicate the CIA had accomplished its self-appointed task. Morse Allen, head of the Behavioral Control Program at Langley, Virginia, successfully hypno-programmed his secretary to shoot her best friend with an unloaded gun. Afterwards, she remembered nothing.
On February 10th, 1954, the project reached its milestone. A test subject hypnotized the previous evening was triggered by a prearranged cue to enter the hypnotic state, pick up a weapon, and fire it at a target. Following the programming, the test subject complied and retained no memory of the event thereafter. Total amnesia. Artichoke was successful. Research continued. Following the 1954 successful tests, additional techniques were developed to further refine their operational capability. Dr. West would provide invaluable in this effort. West continued his research and reported back to Gottlieb fantastical successes in hypnoprogramming experiments. In a paper titled The Psychophysiological Studies of Hypnosis and Suggestibility, West lays out how he was able to replace true memories with false ones in human beings without their knowledge, and demonstrated further techniques for inducing total amnesia and even inducing mental illnesses in unwitting subjects. The latter discovery, including mental illness, was later used operationally for the CIA when Galison West was sent to visit Jack Ruby in his prison cell. Ruby had been visited by numerous psychiatrists who had all deemed Ruby sane and fit to stand trial for murdering Lee Oswald. No, I'm not supposed to say that word. Dumb on me. In a proposal West wrote shortly after the 1955 to 56 experiments, it suggested the project extend for another 11 years through 67. This would place West's treatment of Jack Ruby about 3 years before the proposed end of his MKUltra sub-project. In the 1956 proposal, West outlined his plans to study the combined use of hypnotic techniques and autonomic drugs. Then, when he visits Jack Ruby, West wrote that hypnosis and intravenous sodium pentothal were included among possible techniques to be used on Ruby. And here's the document there. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you can see it highlighted exactly what he said, the hypnosis and intravenous sodium pentothal. What in the world was Jolly West doing in Jack Ruby's prison cell, administering a sodium pentothal, God, why am I having such a trouble? Administering him sodium pentothal and quite possibly LSD.
What in the world was this guy doing in Jack Ruby's prison cell?
All right, that's a little clip there. Declassified documents relate what happened after Jolly West's visit with Ruby. Ruby went from a sane and stable person to someone suffering with some sort of acute psychosis. He was seeing things that weren't there and having complex delusions. This 70-page PDF on archive.org includes West's written observations concerning the Ruby visit. Well, let's read this real quick. It says, last night, the patient became convinced that all the Jews in America were being slaughtered. This was in retaliation against him, Jack Ruby, the Jew who was responsible for all the trouble. Somehow, through an awful mistake and the distortions and misunderstandings derived from his murder trial, the president's assassination and its aftermath were now being blamed on him. Thus, he himself was now also the cause of the massacre of 25 million people. He had seen his own brother tortured, horribly mutilated, castrated, and burned in the street outside the jail. He could still hear the screams. He had seen and heard many other similar horrors. The order, God, it's like hard to read some of the order. This terrible pogrom must have come from Washington to permit the police to carry out the mass murders without federal troops being called out or involved. Attempts to persuade the patient that these police were incorrect or the symptoms of mental illness aroused his anger. He became more suspicious of my sincerity and once or twice seemed about to attack me. So this is, according to Jolly West, essentially Ruby is for some reason under the impression that all the J's are being offed, because, I mean, for those who aren't aware, Jack Ruby was a J. It says right there, Jack Ruby, the Jew, who was responsible. Now, I guess he had supposedly, in his thought, he had seen his own brother tortured and such, and burned in the street outside the jail, so that's nuts. I do find it weird they're playing off the J card. I mean, especially... You know, we mentioned Sirhan earlier, and it was weird that they played the J card there, but on the inverse of it, because Sirhan is a Palestinian, and they played off the stuff going on in Israel at the time to make it sound like he had some sort of issue or something, and that's why he did it. I mean, I'm not even, if I recall correctly, I don't believe he was even that like a politically motivated kind of guy, so I don't even think it was really something that was on his mind. But I don't know. I'm talking on my ass there. But it is weird that they play off that card. I mean, maybe it's just with somebody like that who has that deep ingrained, like, I mean, I would just think from an MK Ultra perspective, somebody, especially, when was this? This was like in the, I mean, what was the assassination? Was this the 60s, I think, or something? I forget off the top of my head when the assassination was, but actually, I'm gonna look it up real quick because I feel stupid not knowing. I should have that one on top of my head. 1963. I was on the right ballpark. But what happened in 1963 was that so it would have been like less than 20 years since the Holocaust at that point. So I mean, we see now in a modern context how worked up people get about that, and how that's still like this victim mentality in that demographic, and a lot of times. So imagine the hold that would have on that demographic, 20 years out from the Holocaust. What would that do? So I don't know, maybe that's just a happenstance. That was an easy key for them to play on type deal, an easy thread to tug on. I'm not sure. I mean, if you're playing the MK Ultra game, that would make sense to me, to find something, some sort of deep-seated fear. And maybe that would be it. All right, I'm overthinking that one there, though. But West's visit served its purpose. Jack Ruby was neutralized, could be characterized as a lunatic, and therefore nothing he says should be considered credible. This had to have been done because some feared Ruby might not keep his mouth shut. Indeed, Ruby did not keep his mouth shut. Just about a year after Dr. West visited him, he told the press there was a conspiracy behind JFK's assassination. Let's play it.
The world will never know the true facts of what occurred, my motives. I'm the only person in the background that knows the truth pertaining to everything relating to my circumstances. The people that had so much to gain and had such an ulterior motive for putting me in the position I'm in will never let the true facts come above board to the world.
Now, these people are in very high positions, Jack.
Yes.
All right, interesting stuff there. Exactly what Richard said. He claimed there was some sort of conspiracy, and then they're not going to let him talk about it, and you'll never find out kind of deal. It says, here's the exact quote right here. It says, the world will never know the true facts of what occurred, my motives. The people who had so much to gain and such an ulterior motive for putting me in the position I'm in will never let the true facts come above board to the world. The interviewer then asked him, are these people in very high positions, Jack? Ruby responded, yes. I'm saving that motherfucker. I'll save it on my phone later. All right. Unfortunately, Ruby didn't stick around for too long to elaborate. Less than a year after New Orleans DA Jim Garrison began his investigation, Jack Ruby died. January 3rd, 1967, Ruby died in prison, a result of a fast-acting terminal cancer. He was 55. The reason why I emphasize fast acting, and maybe we'll get into it. So I'm not sure if this is something that'll come up in this thread. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. But, I mean, the whole context here is Project Artichoke. That's Gottlieb's baby. Gottlieb is known as the poisoner in chief. That's kind of like his shtick, is poisons, different methods to get people, things like the heart attack gun, all those weird, like, spy things you thought. A lot of them did kind of, in a certain roundabout way, originate from Gottlieb, whether it was one of his people or him himself or whatever, because he was kind of the guy running that agency. That's that part of the agency that was doing those sorts of things. So, yeah, the point being, were they capable of giving people cancer? I remember at one point, I believe it was the church committee. I've shared a tweet forever ago, and I believe there was something in one of the church committee hearings where it laid out methods for them to give people cancer. Essentially, know ways to essentially give someone cancer, and the fast-acting ones that way. It's like the point being is it looks legit, because I mean, obviously now if you give someone cancer or a heart attack, the knee-jerk reaction of everyone is like, oh, that's a natural death. Like, what do you think the CIA gave him a heart attack? What are you, crazy? You know what I mean? It's like kind of one of those. So, and it does sound crazy. So that does work. So now he could have just died, but it is one of the most convenient for the powers that be death there was. So is it possible that? Oh yes, see, I did get ahead of myself. Is it possible one of the hundreds of MK Ultra? What the hell? All right. I don't know if you guys heard that. All right. Someone got into it. All right. Is it possible that one of the hundreds of MK Ultra / MK Naomi sub-projects might have also killed Ruby? Methods to induce heart attacks and cancer were both suspected to have been investigated. Some thinks that's what happened with Ruby. Another one of the CIA assets in MK Ultra was Dr. William Joseph Bryan Jr. The 1974 radio excerpt has Dr. Bryan discussing hypnoprogramming using drugs, hypnosis, and torture.
William Bryan Jr. was for almost a decade retained by the US government as its leading hypno program.
In criminal law, yes I am. I sure as hell am. You have to have the person locked up physically to have control over them. You have to use a certain amount of physical torture involved, and there is also the use of long-term hypnotic suggestion, probably drugs, whatever, and so on. Under these situations where you have all this going for you, like the prison camp and so on, yes, you can brainwash a person to do just about anything. What I'm speaking about are the innumerable instances that we ran into when I was running the country's brainwashing and anti-brainwashing programs.
Less than a year before his death in 1976, William Bryan Jr. allegedly confessed to 2 prostitutes that he was the man who hypno-programmed Siran Bishara Siran.
All right, check out Tom O'Neill's Chaos for more detail on Jolyon West's confirmed relationship with Sid Gottlieb. So there's that. It's a good book. I recommend it. I'm not going to read that excerpt. Just take our word for it, or go read the book. And it's a good. And then also Richard says a good summary of Artichoke was provided in Tim Tate and Brad Johnson's The Assassination of Robert F. Kennedy. See especially Chapter 16, The Manchurian Candidate, and Chapter 17, The Hypno-Programmed Assassin. I have not read that book, cannot vouch for it, but coming from Richard, I'd say it's probably pretty good. I can vouch for Chaos, though. That shit slaps. Hypno-programming was a theme in Fenton Bresler's 1989 book, The Murder of John Lennon, which, All right, follow at John Lennon Murder for new research, Mark David Chapman and John Lennon Murder, which, by the way, that's one of the guys I need to get on at some point. We have talked about having him on. I've seen him on numerous shows. Very interesting. So at some point I want to go on the John Lennon Murder. The problem is he lives overseas. So making our times match up is an issue. I think one of these, I'm intended on doing a weekend thing with him one of these days. I think that works well. Just haven't got around to it. But I think it probably will soon. That was a good little reminder. I'll have to hit him up sometime soon. Maybe schedule him for some sort of weekend. That way we can knock it out. All right. An early and now classic take on MK Ultra is Walter Bulwark's Operation Mind Control, 1978. So these are all just suggestions from, or most of these are suggestions. Oh, geez. I guess not. Man, this thread goes on for forever, doesn't it? All right, William Jennings Bryan Jr. was first identified as candidate for Sirhan's hypno-programmer, and William F. Turner and John Christian's 1978 book, The Assassination of Robert F. Kennedy. I've also heard that factoid thrown around a lot, that William Jennings Bryan Jr. had talked to prostitutes and told them this. So, obviously, I'm assuming this is the claims of the prostitutes, but still, let's just at least read the highlighted portions. Also he was the one that was running the Boston Strangler case. He said that case had been cracked by the use of hypnotism, and the hypnotist was Dr. William Joseph Bryan Jr. Of L.A. Bryan billed himself as probably the leading expert in the world on the use of hypnosis in criminal law, and often boasted about being called into baffling cases by law enforcement agencies, including the LAPD. Here we go. God damn it! I'm trying to zoom in. All right, after the war, he purportedly became a CIA consultant in the agency's experimentation with mind control and behavior modification. In 1969, the California Board of Medical Examiners found him guilty of unprofessional conduct for sexually molesting 4 women patients who submitted under hypnosis. So this is the guy we're dealing with. All right, only hours after the RFK shooting before Sirhan had been identified, Bryan appeared in the LA radio program of Ray Briem and offhandedly commented the suspect probably acted under post-hypnotic suggestion. A bizarre thing to say that early on. All right, let's see, one last one. All right. Yeah, in 1977, Bryan was found dead in a Las Vegas motel room from natural causes, which, given what we were talking about a little bit earlier, who was it? Who knows? The girl, this was, I believe he was found with All right, during the last year of his life, he was deeply depressed because his paramour had run off with another man. He became strung on drugs and his groin. Try to see where the girls are. Okay, there we go. Never mind. Shortly thereafter, we were put in contact with 2 Beverly Hill call girls who claimed to have known Brian intimately. They had been serving him on an average of twice a week for 4 years, they said, and usually were present at the same time. Okay. The girl said to relieve Ryan's depression, they repeatedly titillated his enormous ego by getting him to talk about all the famous people you've hypnotized. And then in there, he also boasted that he hypnotized Sirhan. Now, there's multiple levels here of what is this credible. I mean, this is coming from prostitutes, which, let's be real, that kind of dings her credibility already. I mean, because they could be getting paid too. We don't know. But then also on top of that, even given the context of that he's bragging to these hoes, they're trying to work him up and tell him how great he is, and he could have embellished it. He could have had nothing to do with Sirhan. He could have just straight up lied. I don't know, but it's interesting still, nonetheless. All right, where the fuck? Oh, what the hell? Let's scroll all the way down. Here we go. Sorry. 2 years prior to Turner and Christian's book, 1978, implicating Dr. Brian and Sirhan's hypnoprogramming, fellow CIA MKUltra Dr. Jolyon West was serving on the Patty Hearst defense team with F. Lee Bailey. Here he is. Here you can see the pictures. This November 2019 piece from Tom O'Neill and Dan Piepenbring covers Jolyon West's involvement in MKUltra and connection to a murder. It's an excerpt from. Okay, cool. Well, I guess Richard's just giving some recommendations, things to read. Here's a piece. There's a clip. Or I guess not a clip, but a snip, I guess you could say, of what the hell just happened there. Oh, geez, you guys see what was that? Click on it and it goes away. Whoa, what is going on here? All right. Okay, there we go. All right, here's the... all right, here we go. Operation Dormouse. This is the last thing he shared in his thread, so let's see. It says this is from a Wikipedia article. It says, Operation Dormouse was a covert operation launched in 1975 by the CIA to divert attention from Project Artichoke. Project Dormouse was divert attention from Project Artichoke and direct it to the infamous Project MKUltra. Released documents show that although the horrors and atrocities of MKUltra received most of the attention and public outrage over CIA mind control programs, the torture's earliest, deepest, and most influential roots, in fact, found in the CIA's Project Artichoke. This was the outcome planned by the CIA when it created Operation Dormouse. It operated out of the CIA's Security Research Branch and was launched as the 1975 Rockefeller Commission report and the subsequent congressional hearings into CIA illegal activities, chaired by Senators Frank Church and Ted Kennedy, started. The idea was that by exposing the MKUltra program, by essentially offering it to the press, any investigative attempts into the Project Artichoke would be diverted. In his 2009 book, A Terrible Mistake, The Murder of Frank Olson and the CIA's Secret Cold War Experiments, H.P. Albarelli documents some of the atrocities of the project, including terminal interrogations conducted in Germany under Project Artichoke. All right, that's really all there is to it. Yeah, that's it. That's something interesting. We see the cover-up. The authors H.P. Albarelli and Jeffrey Kay argue that Dick Cheney and Don Rumsfeld are specifically implicated in Operation Dormouse and were working with the CIA to suppress information on Artichoke from surfacing. And then we have Jeffrey Kay here, that's interesting, a retired psychologist, blogger, author of Cover Up at Guantanamo. So that's him, the Jeffrey Kay we just referenced there, who, it's interesting we're finding this. He replied to Richard, and he said, I mentioned in the Wikipedia article, but I have renounced the Dormouse story. I had asked Albarelli to see his documentation, and he refused. He claimed he was working with someone on a documentary concerning it. He died in 2019. I have no idea what happened to his documents. Okay. I don't really know take what you want from that. Maybe he was working on a documentary at the time. I don't know why he would. I don't know if they were co-authors. I'm assuming maybe in Operation. Okay, the authors argue that. All right, I guess I don't know if they wrote a book together or what, but either way, that is interesting. This Jeffrey Kay guy said he renounced it just because he wasn't able to see the documentation. So, okay, I don't know. Maybe they didn't divert it. I don't know that, or that could mean nothing. Maybe the other guy had some reason to cover that up. All right, I'm gonna give this guy a follow. Interesting follow. Oh crap! There we go. All right, guys. Well, that's I think it for today. Let me check in. Let's check in the chat, see what y'all have to say before we get out of here. Oh, geez. My hair did some weird shit in the meantime. All right, Richard's cool as fuck from Ancat Grizzly. He sure is. Q, you zooming right now. Oh, I don't even know what that means. We need a new name for this mind control thing. So quick. What's a shitty vegetable no one eats? Artichoke, sir. We'll call it artichoke. Yeah, it is weird they went with artichoke. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, a lot of them you can kind of like understand where they're coming from. Like, I mean, you gotta, and then also they a lot of times are just different variations of them. Like you had Operation Phoenix, and then you had Operation Condor in South America, which were basically kind of the same things, but they're both just birds, and they just, I don't know. So you can kind of see the connective thread there. Yeah. Our frequency weapons, heart attack gun, cancer gun, Havana syndrome. Yes. Yep. Those are all fit into this. Yep. So here we go. I'm old and intelligent, and you always have new stuff of interest. Thank you, F-Web. That actually means a lot. That's what I'm going for here. I mean, I do try to like kind of like 50-50 maybe, depending on the episode or the day. I do try to kind of keep it like current event-y. So it's like I'm kind of keeping you guys abreast of what the new hot things are, but I also do trying to find some old stuff that's been left behind, do some deep digs. And so that's what we did today. I didn't get into everything I want to. Like I said, we're going to maybe tomorrow, maybe whenever the next day I do one of these. I don't know what my next week looks like. I haven't really popped into my work to see what the schedule looks like for next week, but likely, probably, either, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like usual. So we'll be doing this. But like I said, I do have tonight, I have coming on the show, I have Jeffrey Franklin. I told you guys about that. Or Jonathan Franklin. What did I say? Jeffrey. But we have him coming on. That should be good. Talking about old stuff and his coverage of the Oklahoma City bombing, him interviewing Timothy McVeigh, things of that nature. So that should be good. I got a lot of, I believe I should have some good stuff going up for you guys here soon. So keep an eye out. Sorry we didn't do an Already Dead this week. It was fucking Christmas Eve. So it seemed appropriate to take the day off. And we did. So we'll be back on Tuesday with another Already Dead. That will be on the 31st. If you guys want guests too for that, start tagging them on Twitter, that type of shit. So, but all right, guys, let's go ahead and get out of here. Thanks, Jose. I got that. Let me. I'm just gonna make sure there's no more chats before I get out of here. That way, I'm not taking you guys' money and not saying anything. I guess nobody wanted to see the kitties. Friggin' Robin tried to start a whole kitty thing. She said one in the chat, and literally no one said one. So I think maybe it's just you being a psycho, Robin. I don't know. But either way, we love you. You're our psycho. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get out of here. So, here we go. We got another one. So you no longer collab with Toad because he skips the pussy? No, I don't know. I'd still collab with Toad. I don't know. I do probably need to get him on these morning shows one of these days. It's just, I guess it depends on when I just feel like there's stories that fit with him. Like when I had Raven on recently, I'd found a what did I had find? I had found a Anne Frank thread, and I was like, you know what? I'll have to get Top or Raven on. This seems to fit them. And then, funny enough, we never even talked about it. We got sidetracked with a bunch of other stuff going on. But either way, it came for a good time. So maybe if I have some stories that feel Toad related, if you're referring to our series, I still haven't finished our live reading series on Democracy: The God That Failed, which ironically enough, right here, great book. I got the book right here. We got to finish that at some point. One of these days, I will finish it. It's just a matter of it was a number of factors. For one, like I only do one like topic devoted episode a week currently. That's my current format, and then I do like 3 to 5-ish of these morning shows, and then I do one a week of the Already Dead. So another like an afternoon or a nighttime live show. That's like a call-in thing. So I only do that like once a week. So it was a matter of like I only have like one a week devoted like specific topic, and that was a live reading series. And we were like, I don't know what we were at, but we were in the teens, close to the 20s, I think, at that because we're doing a whole book. And it also, the shows in that meantime had kind of shifted from being like, and I say the show, I know it sounds artificial, but it's more like my interests really have changed from more theory towards parapolitics, conspiracy in that period of time. So like I kind of cared less about theory. So in the sense I cared less about, it's still a great book. I still want to finish it. And we will at some point, but I don't know when. Just maybe it's just going to be maybe here and there. It's just that, I don't know. I still got probably another 10 parts we got to do at least in there. And that's like 10 weeks, essentially, taken away from other content I could be doing at that time. So, we'll get to it at some point. Maybe if we ever get to the point where I really genuinely can be like full-time or even legit part-time. Because, as I've told you guys, like I'm I'm like part-time in it right now, but it's more of a out of necessity. I'm kind of losing money. I'm like, things are tight. And honestly, I'm probably here soon going to be cutting things close and probably going back to work a little bit more than I should really, but it's just a matter of this. We just can't afford things. So it is what it is. I mean, for those unaware, my wife is epileptic, so she technically legally can't drive. I'm not saying we're going to break the law, but I'm not saying we're not going to break the law either. I'm just saying one way or another, we got to kind of figure out a way things to make work because things are too damn tight. But essentially her shit started popping off. Her seizures, she'd been controlled for years. And then, a few months ago, we had a handful of scares and seizures and such that made it so she was seasoned again, so we couldn't have her drive. She's been stable for a while now, so she probably is technically safe, just not legally. And I mean, I prefer not to because it does scare me her driving now because for one, she's an awful fucking driver anyways. But point being is, that's... what am I getting at? What was I getting at? Oh, the point being is when I'm going to do dogs, God, it feels. So if I got to a point where I was like legit actually like doing it on the regular, like doing like this is all I did essentially, or most of what I did or something, then yeah, I definitely would carve out more time to knock out old stuff that I never finished like that. Maybe go back to knocking out my fucking, the Iron Acres Handbook series I never finished either. But we'll get back to it at some point. Someone says, of course, or get her a rifle machine. We actually have a rifle machine. And I feel really bad about that. The rifle machine came like right at the time my mother-in-law died. So that's another thing, another issue we've had going on. Cause like my mother-in-law would help out here and there with things with my wife. Like say, if she's like, let's say for example, I'm saying like getting her to work type deal. Like there were times every now and then we could get our mother-in-law or whatever to help out. Now we don't have anyone. Basically, like she's dead. So I mean, my father-in-law is still alive, but it's like my stepfather-in-law, and they were never really that close. So it's kind of weird. So I'm kind of really it so far as her support, So it is what it is. But anyways, point being, we did get a rifle machine, but it happened like right at the time when her mom, my wife's mom, died. So like I haven't even had a chance to even like look through the stuff, figure out how to use it, anything. We've just had way too much going on between all that. I know it sounds crazy because it was like, I believe over a month ago, but like when someone dies, it's like the whole family has to talk, this, that. I mean, we just really haven't enough place to really like sit down and figure it out. But yes, we do have a Rife machine. He did send us over one. I need to fuck with that at some point. I feel bad. Sorry, Rife. I'll hit you up because I never even like followed up with him and be like, oh, it's working. This is actually, we haven't done anything with it just because we've just been so busy. I've been doing, pretty much any time I have extra time where I'm not working, I'm doing one of these to try to, because I do make some money off this and I enjoy it as well to kind of pick up the slack. So he says, DM mad about it. I have one. I just haven't fucked with it at all. And he sent over a bunch of directions and stuff. I just haven't at all. It's ERA. So my biggest fear is having a serious medical issue. There's no one to help or take care of my kid but me. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. I mean, this is the nature of the world. So, all right, guys. We fucking... I mean, it's nice hanging out with you guys, though. I mean, it was... but we'll maybe do one tomorrow. I'm not sure. I got to follow up with my boss, my real work boss, to see if I got anything going on tomorrow. But with that, guys, make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. If you do want to get early content, like I said, I do the one a week of like a topic, typically topic oriented, or just like kind of a talky talk, sort of thing. And, very rarely do I do like a generalized discussion with some guest, but every now and then maybe it will be. Like I just was messaging, or not messaging, but on Twitter just hit up Kurt Metzger and was like, hey, you should come on the show. And like, let's say he did, we would probably want to have a specific topic because he's not a guy that has like a topic. So we would shoot the shit. But point being is I do like one of those type of things where it's like an interview or topic related or whatever. The No Way Jose episode, one of those a week. And so you can get that early. Usually keep those behind the paywall about a week or so. And then also on the Already Dead front, on the nighttime live show that me and Austin Picard do every week, it's a call-in show. The second half of the show, you can be a talking head up here alongside me and Austin for the video call-in portion. If for the low level of $2 a month, that's the lowest level. The highest level is my sponsors. I read them off every episode. My co-host on Tower Gang, at Tower Gang Toad, at Abrogate D's, at ZOVERACK, at _Infinite Zeal. Then Jacob Daniel, the Biblical Anarchy podcast. You can follow him at Biblical Anarchy. And then Tim Tuttle at Jolly and Keeble. And then Will Bell was a delicious blueberry rabbit eye wine. Then big fan of the show at Real Josh Elliott. Then Torrin May as well. Big fans. I appreciate you guys doing what you do. You guys help me keep going. I mean, like, share, like I said, like, share, subscribe. If you're watching this and you haven't liked, well, fuck you. I mean, if you're If you're listening on an audio podcatcher, make sure to give me a 5-star review, please. That would be helpful. The thing goes a long way, and a lot of people just don't do that. People forget to do that. It helps a lot. So, but yeah, patreon.com, just No Way Jose 2020. I'll see you guys soon. Follow me on Twitter at TowerGangJose. Oh, also to want to remind you guys too, I know I've heard some people complaining about the ads, although I had someone actually compliment me on my new ads with my new host because they were saying they were doing better at targeting actual stuff, whereas I would get goofy ads on the last one. But anyways, what was my point there? Oh, yeah, I was going to get at that. I'm going to be here soon. I'll be setting up on Patreon a ad-free RSS feed because they've increased the amount of ads with this new host. So with that, if you don't like ads, then give me $2 and then you'll be able to get a free RSS feed here soon. I got to set that up. That's going to take some time. And maybe this weekend. Maybe they'll set up this weekend. But teach Top how to do that for NDS Chronicles. I don't know what you're talking about how to do that. But all right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Love you all. Deuces.